Welcome to Unbiased and On the Fence. We are doing our Paranormal Frequencies show, and of course, we have Sherry with us. How are you doing tonight, Sherry?
Hey, good. I'm glad to be
And
here.
longtime viewer Kelly, how's it going, man?
Oh, not too bad. Pretty good today.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. It's you've been watching for a while. You and your daughter have just sent all sorts of stuff over this time. I've been looking into the Mandela effect and everything, but you actually got some pretty cool footage that you've sent me. And even before we ever discussed having this show or whatever, I was wanting to get this footage of yours on here because it's some of the best footage I've seen. I mean, people will capture little kind of hazy things and stuff like that, but when I saw this footage, I was really blown away, and I just couldn't
Well,
wait to show it.
here's the thing though. It took a long time before I told you a long time ago, I've got this stuff, but I wouldn't send it to you. It took a long time for me to even trust you enough to send it because the way I feel about it is whatever's there, that's their place. So,
Yeah.
and I really don't want, I've had people say, "Oh yeah, you got to call Ghostbusters. You got to call this." Da, 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 bring it. It's like no, 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 no. So I just felt comfortable sending it to you. So
Well, I
okay,
appreciate that.
yeah, that's cool. Um, you know,
Yeah. So, all right, let's do a little, a little, I guess, background on this footage. Let me actually share my screen, and we'll get right to it because I know people get impatient. Like, just get to it already. You know what I mean? So, okay, share screen. We'll share this screen, and I'll pull up this video because, okay, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to play the regular speed version just so people have an idea, but we're looking at the side of a car here. You work in a shop. I'll let you give the back story on this. So, kind of your setup of why you were filming the side of the car here.
well, that's a long story, but anyway, basically, what it started out was the batteries kept going dead. I worked at a car lot. The batteries kept going dead, and I was just like, "What the?" And one day I was painting one of my cars, and I started seeing orbs, and I'm thinking, okay, well, spirits, okay, they need energy. They're killing batteries. Great. So I took a few pictures, got a few orbs, but I could never get video
Mm-hmm.
on anything. And I started thinking, why? Why can't I get video? I can get pictures, but not video. What's the difference? Well, the difference that I could figure out was the flash. So
Right.
I set up a strobe light while I was videoing, and this is what I got.
All right, I'm going to play at regular speed and see if people can catch this really fast. You can see the strobe light flickering on the side of the door here. Okay, here we go. You go to adjust the camera, and there, it goes by really fast. So let me
Yep.
back it up again. Okay, we got the strobe light. Now, you're working in the shop by yourself. That's
Well, I wasn't
important.
working. I was actually running the camera, but this is like 11 o'clock at night, and I'm trying to catch something in the shop because I know it's there. But I got the strobe light going while I'm doing it because this is like the first, maybe second attempt.
Okay, so let me slow this down because when you showed it to me, I'm like, I don't know what you're seeing. I see your worker buddy walking by the back of the car, and you're like, wait, I was all by myself that night. So
Yeah, it was 11 o'clock at night.
that's when I grabbed it. I stretched it out over a 20-second period just to get all of these frames slowed down. And I want to explain this thing on the wall we see right here is a wire harness. Okay, so this isn't what we're looking at because I was looking at
Right.
that looks spooky, you know. So I
Yeah,
was
and
like,
the,
what the
and the
heck is
big
it?
white thing where the objects come down, that's a 9-foot door.
Okay, so this is the track to the garage door. This is the back of the
Correct.
car, of course, and this is the actual door. But this
hmm
object we see right here, this
Is
dark,
I have no clue what that was. Yeah,
there
it
was
wasn't there.
nothing there with the naked eye anyway. There's
Right.
nothing there, but you can see it's moving. You can see it getting closer to the track of the door. You see right there? So
hmm
it's literally moving. It moves down. Of course, you didn't know you were filming anything. You
Nope.
saw this later, right?
Right.
But then the camera moves and you start to pick up this image in the corner, which is
Right
right
there.
right there.
That's the
Now let
one.
me
Yeah.
let me move this over so our viewers can see a little bit
And
better.
Kelly, who'd you say it looks like?
Michael Jackson. No, I don't say it looks like that, but many people have.
Oh, other people have said the Michael Jackson thing?
Yeah. I mean, the
Oh,
few
wow.
people that I showed it to, there was one lady, and she was black, but you know that doesn't make any difference. She says, "I think it's Michael Jackson. It looks like him."
So this is pretty wild. I mean, look at this. I'm trying not to mess it up there. I've got it full screen for them, you guys, just so you know that.
Well, and you know, and my boss, this is the funny part, you know, I mean, there was a long time before I got this, and I'm telling him, you know, first they showed him the orbs. I'm saying, this is why your batteries are dying, and he's going, yeah, we just got this crazy mechanic out in the shop, and then I showed him this video, and he goes, well, that's kind of weird, and then I had to make him a copy, and he showed it to everybody.
Okay, so yeah, Go-Kart Bob says girl in a hat. So this is what's so cool about this whole story. This figure you see right here, to me it looks like an older lady with like a I don't know, something over her mouth or something.
Well.
Like a, you know, and I'm trying to let me switch to that other image because I think that'll be better as far as whoops. Because I got a still image and then we can actually point out the face here. Okay, so here's the still image. Let me make it bigger so we can really look at it here. Okay, so here we have what looks like a hat, some kind of band around the hat with a flower on it, the brim, some hair kind of poking out from underneath it. Is this how you guys are seeing it too?
Yeah, exactly.
And then
to
like
me, the hair even looks gray.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, and the band looks orange or gold or red.
It's red. You know, I don't know why that is. You know, I need to send you a clearer picture because the one I have is so much clearer than that. You can see the eyes, and the weird part about the eyes, in the one that I have, I mean, maybe it's just because it got sent, but they're yellow with a black slit, which is really freaky.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, like a cat eye slit.
Trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
so this would be
alien.
the nose. This would be the thing covering it. But then you pointed out how there's another face down here you can make out where this is an eye,
and there's red eyes and a red mouth, and yeah, like I say, if I can get you the still that I have, it'll freak you out, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So, okay, somebody was wanting to see the frame before this frame. Let me back it up. Right here, they said it looked like a reptilian. Oh.
Exactly. That's what I was going for. Nobody sees it but me, but thank you, whoever that said that.
No,
okay, how are you seeing the reptilian? Are you?
It's right underneath the nose. The face underneath the nose is all reptilian.
It's like serpentine. It looks
is
like
this an eye and this an eye right here?
No. You go back to the other frame, and I'll show you. No, the still photo you have. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
That'll work. Okay, now right under the nose. Okay. There's an eye and there's an eye right under the nose. Okay, you see those?
Yeah.
And then, like I said, if you had the clearer image, you would see that reptile face right underneath it. Wow. That is so cool that somebody actually said that because I was the only one that saw it.
I can almost see the white of the eye right here.
Yeah, well, you know what? If you could get the better picture, you'd see the whole dang thing.
Wow. That's wild. So,
I see the eyes lower.
Definitely. And like I said, if I could send, if you wanted to go through the whole video, frame by frame, you'd probably see more reptilians than you wanted to. There's lots of them.
I'm going to play this in slow motion just so people can see the movement of it because the camera was moving a little bit and blurring things, but they're like there.
Yep.
And that's pretty much it. It's, man, like 3 frames. So that's like, we're talking like a fraction of a second.
Exactly. I mean that thing went past me so dang fast. I mean, because the camera I was using was going 19 frames per second. And if you go frame by frame, the whole thing went past me in about 6 frames.
Yeah. I'm surprised you saw it.
Well, it was an accident. I was just going through the video and I stopped it at the exact place where the face was shown. And that's when I started going frame by frame. Because it was just an accident that I found it.
Sounds like you had help finding it.
I think you're right.
Yeah. And here we have it. I don't know. So like I said, this looks like something that's solid. It doesn't look like a spirit. I mean, here you see the track on the door. The track on the door, you can't see it through the hair.
Right. Okay, here's another thing too. I mean, if you want a little bit of a story, that place, I mean, it's a mechanic shop, you know? It doesn't seem like it would be a hot spot for paranormal activity. But I'm telling you, man, that place seems like it's just, to me, it seems like there's some kind of a dimensional freaking portal somewhere there. just the
Right.
things that happen there. And because they're just random, you know, I mean, well, you got the picture of the weird alien guy, but I mean, there was another time when I was just working away and I hear this beeping, you know, it's like, what the heck is that? And it goes beep, beep, you know, and I finally figured out it's my phone. So I pick it up and I start walking, and it's like a tracking device. You know, you go this way and it goes faster. You go this way, it goes slower. I finally get it to the point where it's going beep, 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 beep. And then I stop, and all of a sudden it just kind of fades out. Beep, 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 and then quits. And I've never had it again. But it was my phone. And I've never had that phone do that before. And I'm telling you, I walk around that place and it was just like a tracking device. It was strange.
Oh, you know what, Jane? She said she thinks I think there was a face in the car window as well.
Yeah,
Sherry
well,
said
there's
the
lots
same
of
exact
faces
thing.
in the car window. Lots.
Yeah. Let me go back to that clip here.
You know what I'm going to do, Shane? I'm going to send you the full video again, and you can just go ahead and put it out for anybody that wants to look at it, because it takes a while. But if you want to look through it frame by frame or something, you'll find all kinds of stuff. And you know what? I would like people to look through it. Oh, that face right there?
Oh, that's something on the wall on the other side.
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, that is. That's just something on the wall. That's guaranteed because I put it there.
But here I can see a ghostly figure here.
That
Yeah.
also looks like a face, you know, with the whole body type of thing.
Yeah.
That's also not what it looks like. Those are just something that I've actually. I mean, the face on the wall I put there, and the other one on the window was something I was using a buffer, and that happened.
So tell us the story that you just explained about the what was her name? Gertrude or?
Oh, Gertie?
Gertie, yeah.
Yeah, well,
and there it was at regular speed, how quick it went by there.
Yeah, like I say,
you can see it's moving.
Well, the story was that Gertie was well, the
Oh my God, that. I'm sorry. Sorry.
It's no, you're fine. It's just a really long story, really, and I don't know how to condense it because I mean we only got so much time. But basically, she went the wrong way on the freeway and had a head-on collision and ended up dying. And the ambulance and tow truck drug her car with her in it into the lot that I work in. Okay, so. And I didn't know that, you know, but that's what the boss told me. And then when I showed it, just by chance, because my landlord was into kind of paranormal stuff, I said, "Hey, well, I got you the video to show you." And I showed him the video, and he said, and I told him the story, of course, you know. And he says, you know, there was a lady that I knew that went down the road and got hit. And, you know, he basically told me the same story my boss did. And then I said, okay, watch this video. And when he watched it, he said, that looks like Gertie. So to him, it looked like the person that he thought was the one that got hit. So, and I don't know, because I didn't know any of them. My boss didn't know her, but my landlord did know her and knew that she had lost her life in that spot.
And you said she was still in the car when they pulled the car to the lot?
Yes, they pulled it. Yeah, she was done in the car, and they took the car, you know, because I mean, it was going the wrong way on a one-way street, basically. And so they had to get it off the road, and it just happened to be right there at our lot where it happened. So the tow truck dragged the car with her still in it into our lot.
Wow.
To get it off the road.
That fits a lot of stories that you hear, though, where, you know, people kind of hang around their body for a while or whatever.
There's more stories with that place, and it's kind of weird because my boss also tells me about there was another, before he owned the lot, it was a different lot, and there was a detailer, you know, they cleaned the cars and stuff, and he was out doing something with one of the cars, and somebody with, I can't remember, where you have to have, you know, like oranges and stuff, you know, you have to have your insulin syringe shot. What is that?
Diabetes. Yeah.
He had a diabetic reaction and lost control of his car, ran through the lot and killed the detailer. So that happened at that lot too, you know.
Plus you don't know what was there before the lot, you know.
Another car lot.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But even before that, okay, I mean, we're talking way before that. This place happens to be on a path where the railroad tracks go. I mean, I'm in Washington, and there's not a whole lot of places that you can put land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And a lot of water. So, and
You're in Washington. You got to come to East City in August when we come there.
yeah,
Cool.
a lot of the property around the railroad tracks where we're at used to be like a hobo village, you know, back in the 20s, 30s, 40s, and who knows what happened back then, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean, you just don't know, you know. It's crazy.
Well, let's show some of these other images. Let me share, because the other ones are images, which is actually why you try to get the photos up there, is because. Or get the video footage is because you were getting images before.
Exactly.
I'll come back to that
crazy.
one.
Yeah.
Okay, so
back to that one. Start with that one. Yeah. Okay, this picture right here is a picture of, basically it's a small little area in between two buildings. You can see that. Okay, the barrel that you see there is what I use for antifreeze recycling. There's nothing there. I mean, it's just basically a hallway in between two buildings. Okay, go to the next.
Okay, and then we go to this one.
Yes, this one is the same picture from the same, you know, angle, except for this is what I caught on one particular night, and I started, you know, kind of thinking about it and decided to enhance it. Go to the next one. That's what I came up with when I enhanced it.
Wow.
Now let me zoom in, that way the viewers I can really point this out there to them. Let's see here. Let me get it centered for the viewers.
It looks like something from Land of the Lost.
Something, yeah.
Okay, here we have, this is like a long neck, a really big alien head with a really big alien eye. It's looking this direction, right? These are nostrils. This is
Actually,
like
I don't see it that way. I see the things that you see nostrils, I see his eyes, but that's okay.
Oh yeah, I can see an eye and a mouth.
Yeah, that's what I see.
Oh, okay. See, I was thinking this whole thing was a head. This is a gigantic alien eye.
Well, I mean, you can see it however you want, but the way I see it is, you know, your nostrils are my eyes, and
right. Yeah. Either way, it shouldn't be there, you know. But yeah, that could.
It's just it's. I mean, and basically, that shot right there is looking at a blank wall. You know,
right?
I mean,
You can see the wall through it.
That's all that's there. It's a white wall that I just snapped a picture of.
Yeah, this corrugated wall here is this. Whoops, wrong thing here. Is this is the same image without being enhanced.
That's the one I enhanced.
But these are the lines we're seeing through it.
Exactly. That's what it is.
So that's
all that it is.
So in this big blank area we see right here.
That's where you're seeing the alien dude. That's it.
Yeah, that's wild. It's really wild.
It looks like Yoda.
And you can actually see the top of the barrel. You can see the barrel here.
Yeah, the barrel's right there. Yeah.
And then right above it. That's wild.
But that was after enhancing it, because, I mean, I could kind of see it, you know, like on the second picture you showed. I could kind of see something, but I didn't know what it was. So I just spent like, I don't know, 8 hours messing with it with the computer.
Yeah.
And that's what I come up with.
Yeah, you can still make it out right here. Yeah.
Right.
There's actually more over here that kind of got washed out with the.
There is too. It looks like there's like buildings and stuff that I'm not sure about. I don't understand it. It's really weird. You know, if I had better equipment, I could probably pull out more, but.
Let me, let's see. Let's go to this one. This was pretty interesting.
Well, that was just a random shot in the shop. Just snapped a picture and that's what come up.
Now, what am I seeing here? Is this like the top of a barrel?
No, that's not nothing. There's nothing there. That's just a random shot.
So this shape of a head here is not.
Shouldn't even be there.
Shouldn't even be there. Wow.
Shouldn't even be there. None of it. None of it.
Look at this face. This face is really detailed right here.
But the bright one, can you see the one eye and the half a mouth?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I'm seeing it as a nostril again.
Yeah. Shouldn't even be there.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just open space. There's nothing there.
Let me zoom in on this little face, because there's a lot of detail in this little one right here.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect. I can see it. Yeah, that was perfect.
That is wild. So it's got a little cone head on it.
He looks like a little cone head, huh?
That's wild. It almost looks like it's wearing sunglasses, doesn't it?
I see like a dead singer, a dead.
You know what? one of the really funny parts is our detailer. You know, he works in the shop next to me, and I showed him that, and he thought it was cool. He's not. I mean, he's a great guy, but he's just not all there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And one day he comes flying into the shop and he says, "I got one." I said, "What do you mean I got one?" He says, "I got a ghost." And he shows me this picture. He took a picture of one of the trucks that he detailed, and I'll be damned if there wasn't a face that looked almost like that one in the picture that he took. It was just crazy. And he says, "It was in the truck." I says, "James, no. Think about it. That glass that you took a picture through, that was reflection. He was standing right next to you." Oh my God. Poor guy. I didn't think he was going to come back to work.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's move on to, have we looked at this one? What is this one? I don't know if I've seen this one.
Oh, that's just, I don't think so. That's just part of that video.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's that video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, this one here, this is just, and I can't even really see them here, but there's just orbs. This is behind the building, and you can kind of see orbs. Yeah, there's a couple there.
I can see here, here, and here.
Yeah, well, go to the next one.
Okay. Oh, wow.
No, not that one. No, that's different. Okay. There's two with orbs and two with, okay, that one.
Okay, this one.
That one right there. And then the one that you showed in the beginning.
Let me zoom in on this orb real fast to see if there's a face or anything in it, because sometimes you'll catch.
Yes, and I have some with faces, and that'll probably be our next show because I just haven't found them yet.
See how perfect that is?
Yeah, I have tons of them. I mean, you have no idea how many of these I have.
There's another one?
I mean, really. I mean, we're going to have a good time with this. But anyway, those two that I sent you, that one and the first one before the mists.
Mm-hmm.
Go one more back.
One more. Okay, here.
Okay, yeah. And you really can't see them there. If you zoom in, you can. But they were taken like snap right away, and you could actually see them moving. It looked like they were just traveling.
Oh, okay. So this one
no
and
dust outside.
this one and okay. So
yeah, but for some reason,
yeah, you can see this one.
The right two, believe it or not. I just don't, because the ones that I had before, it's like you could see them here, and then you could see them like, 10 feet away, and they were all in sequence, and they were just like traveling. It was strange. Okay.
Yeah, we need to line them up and then animate through them, and then we'll really be able to see the orbs move. That's how I would go about it. Yeah. Okay, so what is this? Because, and I even told you about it.
Okay, this was taken at the same time I got the orb pictures, except for I took this picture and then go ahead and snap to the next one. I took that picture and I wasn't smoking, not at that time. I mean, there was nothing there. I don't know.
You couldn't see it with your naked eye, right?
Boom, boom. I got those two pictures of some kind of misty cloud, and then they were gone. But they weren't there. They weren't there when I took the pictures.
That's wild. So it's the camera seeing something. And, I see like sort of, look at the face on this right here.
I looked through this whole thing and I couldn't see anything like that. I mean, I'm sure there's people that can. All I saw is smoke.
I see a head looking down this way with like angel wings kind of coming up like this on each side.
I'm glad you see that, but I don't.
And then the neck. Here, let me zoom back out again and see if anybody else can see it. Because to me, it almost looks like, I don't know, like this wing is down. Like this is the top of the wing coming down, and this is, like the shoulder of the wing, if you will. And this one's kind of going up and swinging around that way.
Well, what it looks like to me is something that I should be seeing, but I can't.
Oh,
it looks like a Jesus
what I mean?
type figure or something.
It's
looks
weird.
Like what, Sherry?
Like Jesus.
Maybe that's
or Moses.
Yeah, well, see this darker area right here? I see this as the shadow of the side of the face. This is the cheek. This is the side of the nose.
Me too.
This is the eyebrow or the sunken in eye part, and then this is the other side. This is the mouth.
And
I can see Jesus. This is beard. So that looks, it does look like Jesus kind of, yeah.
And I don't see any of that.
Wow. Have you enhanced this one or, increased the saturation? Or the,
I haven't. That's just
contrast?
It's just those two photos, it was just the smoke going past as I was taking pictures.
Yeah.
But I don't see anything in it. All I see is smoke.
Really? You can't
Yeah.
see the face at all, huh? Do you
Nope,
see it,
not
Sharon?
at all.
That's wild.
I just don't.
There's mediums in the chat room. Make Jody say what it is.
Jody, what is it? I see the wings, she says. This is wild, though. This. You know, this almost
Okay,
looks...
now I can see your face that you're circling.
Oh, you can't
I
see
can
the
see
face?
the face with the hair.
Yeah, it's looking this direction.
Yep, looking down. Yep, okay, I can see the face with the hair. Got that.
And this is the shadow of the hairline.
Yeah.
And this is the cheek. And this is the side of the face coming down to the chin. And I
That
can see
like
a
the chin
beard.
right there, yeah.
And this is the neck and under the chin.
Neck? Yeah, well, I don't know about the neck, but I got the chin. It looks like it looks like a guy with a really long chin to me. He looks like, you know, Laurel and Hardy animated. But anyway.
That's what makes it look like it's got a beard to me.
Yeah.
That it looks long.
It kind of looks like the Elephant Man.
Yeah, there you go.
Moving
That
on.
was a sad movie.
Yeah, it's actually almost easier to see when it's zoomed out, I think. Once you zoom in, it makes it a little bit harder.
Oh, actually, no, it's not. You know, that's kind of spooky looking at it that way.
Oh, when you look at it this way, you can actually make out the eyebrow.
Yeah, that's kind of spooky. Stop that. No, I'm just kidding.
That's cool, though, man. It's, you know, is it something there? Is it pareidolia? I mean, the
I don't know.
cloud
It was
itself shouldn't be there.
To me, it was just smoke that wasn't there when I took the picture, you know? And it's really odd, you know?
How far apart were these two images, this one and this one? There was
snap, boom,
right?
Just right away, just snap, and then wait for the flash to charge and snap again, that fast.
Wow.
You know?
You can actually see down here, too, there's some more mist down low.
Well, I mean, there's actually, I've actually got some ghost birds on some other stuff that'll really flip you out. But, you know, ghost birds really didn't seem like the good thing to go with this. I've got, I'm not even kidding. I mean, I've got some video where there's I don't know, it's like almost a white translucent bird that comes through the building, flaps around a little bit, you know, does a circle, and then flies right back through the building. You know?
Oh, wow. It sounds like that one that Go For It Randy showed where you could actually see a shadow of it on the wall. Do you guys see any faces or anything in this one?
You asking me?
You've already studied this probably.
Yeah, I'm going with no.
Man. And this still has the orb there too, I noticed.
Well, you know, the orbs are prevalent. I mean, they're there all the time. The stuff that I've sent you, that's kind of like, you know,
more rare stuff.
Yeah, actually very rare. But the orbs, you know, and like we talked about before, you know, we'll do a show where I can, you know, get the camera set up to where everybody can just watch the orbs, because they do. They just come and go as they please, and some go fast, some go slow, some are big, some are little, some blink, some don't. Some make little loopy things. It's just really strange, you know, but they seem to have a good time, and they don't bother me and I don't bother them. And we kind of have a weird relationship, as you know, and I think they're kind of cool. So,
yeah. Jen saw a face of a bull. I think she means in this one, maybe.
Yeah. When they show up, when they start showing up again, you know, we'll do another show or something. But they seem to be like, well, like I said, you know, they're kind of divas. They show up when they want to. So, you know, when it gets to a point where they are starting to show up a lot, we'll hook them up.
Yeah. Now this one I wanted to show, because you sent this a while back, and I never have covered it, but here's the original C-3PO without.
Well, this was weird too, you know, because I got this after the whole Mandela thing went on, you know, and my boss, you know, the guy I worked for a lot, had a whole bunch of stuff he's getting rid of, and there was a lot of computer stuff and and I'm just one of those guys that has squirrels going everywhere, and I like build stuff out of everything. So I went through all his stuff, and there was a bunch of old Star Wars cards, and I remember them from when I was little, and so I started going through them, and I seen that one, and I went, "Oh my God!" You know,
yeah,
there it is.
So for those who don't know,
that is an original.
Yeah,
from 1977.
Look how they spell C-3PO too.
Yeah,
that's the kicker. Point that out.
That's the kicker, you know, and I wonder if that's why the leg didn't change, is because they didn't spell it right.
Yeah, that's the kind of stuff I think about, because it seems like they, you know, do like a, I don't know.
I mean, if there is some kind of an AI or whatever, you know, they're going to look for certain, you know, spellings or whatever, and that wasn't it, and so they didn't change it.
Interesting. You know? So for those who don't know about the Mandela effect, it appears that C-3PO, this leg right here, has always been silver. So this is the original all gold C-3PO that I grew up and I remember.
1977.
Yeah, 1977. But now official history. I
love how that's spelled out.
Yeah, that is cool. But official
My daughter
history,
owns that card right now, by the way.
Oh, this is just a little card, huh? Like a
not Crystal, but my other daughter, my second youngest, she's a Star Wars freak. And I said, I got this card, but you got to just like put it in a safe deposit box because it's really free. And she says, don't worry, I got it. So.
Oh, yeah, that's a cool, priceless trading card. It's really cool.
You know, I'm looking at some of these and you can't even tell. Let me pull these up here for you guys to check out too, because some of these, it's hard to tell. Well, what is this one here? Some of them it's hard to tell, but the leg is silver. Like, what's this?
Well, you know, the thing about it is you can find more with all gold than you can silver.
Really?
I mean, what does that say?
That's just strange. There's the actual spelling of C-3PO.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is so weird. I love it.
That's my kind of girl right there, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We're going to get along just fine.
Wow.
All right.
So you spell R2D2 AR?
Only if you want to save it from Mandela effect.
All right. So now that we got the paranormal photographs out of the way, let me hear your Mandela effect story. How did you come to realize it? Is everyone in your life awake? It seems like I know your daughter is.
Well, yeah, my daughter is, you know, to a point. My wife, yeah, she gets most of it.
Yeah.
My brother, he's one of those that's like, oh yeah, I see that, but who gives a shit, you know?
Right.
And that used to bother me. It's like, what do you mean, who gives a shit? You know?
Yeah, that's how my brother was. He said, "Man, people are just trying to pay their bills. They don't give a crap about it."
Yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, and I realize that, you know, this information is not going to solve all our problems right now, but it's something that people need to pay attention to, because there's going to come a time, and I don't know why I say this, but there's going to come a time that it's very important. And you're going to need to know it, you know, and you're going to need to be able to stand on what you know is true, from what you know in your heart, what you know you believe, and not just what, oh, well, I must have misremembered. Bullshit. Piss on that shit. I didn't misremember it. I know what's right, and I need to stand on it. And that's going to come to, you know, someday it's going to come to that. You know, the people
I tell so many people, don't doubt your memory. Why are you doubting your memory?
Okay.
You know, because they'll say, oh, well, maybe it was like this.
No, not going to do it. I'm going to tell you a story. I've had, and this is no crap, and, you know, if my wife wanted to chime in here, she could verify it, but we've had missionaries come to the house, and just because of the Mandela effect, of course, you know, I'd let them in anyway, because, you know, people need to talk about this stuff, and religion's religion and belief's belief, and everybody should have their own, and it should all be okay, and I believe that. But, you know, we let them in, you know, and we talked to them, and they got some good words to say, and I said, okay, well, you know what? Tell me about the Lion and the Lamb. You ever heard that? Oh, yeah. I said, have you read it? And this has happened more than with just one of them. Have you read it? Yes, I have. I said, are you sure? Yes, I have. Can you tell me 100% that you have read that yourself and not just heard it? Absolutely. I said, okay, go find it. Come back next week and tell me where it is. And they come back and they say, well, I must have misread it or must have misremembered. It's like, give me a fucking break. You know, you knew this shit a fucking week ago and you don't know it now. How can you expect me to believe what you want to tell me? You know, I mean, either get on the bus or get off the bus, you know, one way or the other.
Yeah. That's the strange thing. I thought you were going to say that.
Sorry about my language. I told you I get that way sometimes.
No, that's fine.
No, it's okay.
This is our late night paranormal show. It's quite
well.
well.
That's good. But yeah, that's kind of what happens. I mean, they tell me they're absolutely 100% sure, and then the very next week they come back and say, "Well, I must have misread it," you know. But yet the week before they were so sure of this, and they're so sure of their faith, and this is the way, and this is it, and everything I know is right, and there's no other way. Yet the next week they come back and say, "Oops,
I'm really surprised they came back, to be honest with you.
My wife's laughing.
I'm surprised they came back. I really am, because
yeah, they sent new ones the one after that. I mean, they came back one more time, and then we had new ones the next time. And the next ones, the new ones, they didn't come back.
That's good stuff. So what was the first thing you saw? Did you stumble across the Mandela effect looking around at conspiracies, or did you start noticing things? Or?
I was more on the alien thing and this and that and the other, and then I heard something on YouTube about, the Mandela effect's real. I was like, what the heck's the Mandela effect, And so I listened to a couple of them, and the one that got me the most, well, the first thing I heard, of course, was the Berenstain Bears.
Yeah.
And for me personally, I went, you're all fucking, crazy. Because for me, even in 5th grade, it was Berenstain.
Really?
Berenstain? Yep,
Oh, wow.
I do. In 5th grade, I remember Berenstain.
Wow.
But I kept listening, and about the time they said interview with the vampire, I went, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
And then when they said it's a beautiful day in that neighborhood or this neighborhood, I went, oh, hell no, because I mean, those I know for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I mean, if there was 2 that I knew for sure, it would be C-3PO's leg, and then it was a beautiful day in the neighborhood, not this. The rest of them, I mean,
what about Sex in the City?
But those 2, I'm 100.
Yeah.
But and here's a good one too. I mean, there was a time when, I was in this group type thing. We did every night we did the Lord's Prayer, and I'm talking like 2008. And this one's really gonna mess you guys up. And everybody's, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. But even back then, for some reason, and I don't know why, in my mind, it was always debts. It was exactly the opposite of everybody else, way back before it should have been.
Mm-hmm.
And that one kind of messed with me when this whole ME thing come up, because every time we did that prayer, I would say debts and debtors instead of trespasses and trespassers.
I had the exact same experiences.
Really?
Like my whole life, it seemed off right there. Like there was something off.
I even got in my own Bible and checked, and one of them said debts and one of them said trespasses. So I was okay with that. But now the same Bible that I looked in before to get that doesn't say the same thing.
Oh, yeah. And there's,
I mean, not just the same version, the exact same one, the one that I've carried for 20 years, doesn't say the same stuff.
Yeah. You hear people freaking out. They're like, it changed right under my highlighter. And I'm like, what?
Well, I mean, I told you about, I'll text you and told you about that one, the whole talents thing, there was pounds and then switch back to talents. It's like blew me right away.
Yeah. And you'll still hear people say the truth shall set you free. I'm like, dude, it doesn't say that anymore. You better go look,
But this is what I believe about the whole thing. And this is my honest opinion at this point, and it could change tomorrow. But the honest opinion I believe, is, it says that God's word shall never change. Okay. I mean, it is what it is, right? And I believe that. I really, truly do. This is what I think after years of going through all this stuff. I think it's going back to what it should have said in the first place. I really do. I think little by little, things are changing, going back, and the people that aren't paying attention ain't going to get it. But I think it's going back to, I mean, even the lion and the lamb, and the wolf shall dwell with the lamb. That's more like what's going on right now. That's what it should have said in the first place. I think it was changed way before. And I think God is putting it right back where it should be. That's what I think. I think, this whole thing about I'll send a grand deception, all this. I think the deception has been for 1,000 years now. I think the veil is lifting. I think we're in the time when the veil is lifting and this deception is going away. And the people that are looking for it aren't just, steadfast in this is what I've been told for 100 years. I think these people, us people, whatever people, whoever wants to join, I think the ones that are open-minded can see that, yeah, all the God's promises, they're right here. This is where they are. All you got to do is look at them now.
I think some people see a lot of the changes and they think, where was the one that 2 women grinding it?
That's cool.
And it's in several of the Gospels and stuff, and they'll bring up stuff about it and they'll say, well, now it's okay to eat people or something. They'll just bring up these changes that I remember being that way for me anyway, always saying it the way it reads now. But that doesn't mean anything with the Mandela effect, I guess.
I'm sorry. I think that 2 women grinding is just fine. I think that's absolutely fine because they could be sitting there grinding wheat or whatever, on their little whatever they're doing, and they're both grinding. They're not grinding together. I think people are reading something into it that isn't there.
Yeah, same way with the 2 men sleeping in a bed.
No, I don't get that one. That one I'm sorry about. I gotta say that's bullshit. I think 2 men in a bed, that's bullshit. It shouldn't be there. That's just my opinion.
But it's kind of reading into it the same way with the 2 women grinding, I think, isn't it? Because if you read, like in one gospel, it'll say, I mean, it's not saying in the same bed, But I mean, even at that rate.
Read it again.
Yeah,
2 men in one bed is what it says.
2 men in one bed?
2 men in one bed. That's what it says. Now what do you think?
I still think that
Sorry.
I still think that the truth of the matter is there's a lot of judgment that people have towards people, and that people want to play God and they want to say who gets to go and who doesn't get to go to this heaven type realm, and I think God's the judger of people, and and I think just from the Christian point of view, I'm saying here.
I agree with you. Maybe I misled you. Okay. The 2 men in one bed is something, I mean, that's just what it is, and we are not the judge. I'm okay with that. What I'm saying is, I don't think it said that before. Okay.
Okay.
Grinding. I think that it did say that. I just think people are taking it for a different thing than what it was meant for.
Okay. I felt just like you felt.
Bed, I don't think it said that before.
I felt just like what you said until I realized that it was in 2 gospels and it read 2 different ways. It was the same. You know how the Gospels, all 4 Gospels, sometimes they'll repeat the stories. So that particular line is the way I remember it in one of the Gospels, and then it's the way that we're discussing in the other Gospels. So I don't know if they both originally read the same way or if I was just remembering the one way. So I can't really be sure on that one.
And I'm with you on that. I think that people are swapping Gospels back and forth and messing a lot of people up because of that. And I think that a lot of the Mandela does come from that because people are just confusing one from the other. And I found that out myself personally, because, I would see something go, wait a minute, that's not what I read. And then I'd go back and find that it was the way I read it before in one, but not in the other. So, and I agree with you. I think that's a lot of it. I don't think that that's the answer, but I think that's a lot of it. Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think of, the people who think that the devil's doing it, or
I don't think the devil exists. There's a lot of things that I've been, and this is something that I came to myself before I really started, getting the whole religion thing. And I'll tell you why. It's really simple. Okay. In the beginning, there was God, period. Right? Nothing else. Right? Nothing. Zero. Zip. Dilt. There was God. Right? He created the heavens and the earth. What he created out of. Okay. Well, he had to have created it out of himself. Correct? Because there was nothing else there except for God. Right? Okay. So now we got heavens and the earth. Then he created man. Then he created all this stuff he created. Right? And then where'd the angels come from? Okay. Well, they would have had to come from him too. Right? And then Satan fell. But where did he come from? It was God. It's all God, all of it, everything, because he was the beginning. Okay. Yeah. I
I totally agree. How about you, Sherry?
I don't
Yes.
see it. I don't see how there's anything but God.
Everything.
Everything is God.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what? And when you look at like Job and things like that, you can see that God and what we deem as to be the devil or Satan were working together. He was the adversary. He was the one bringing trials. And it wasn't so much that he was against God. It was just he was the opponent to man, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's like he's part of the game. I mean, it's not fun to go play a game and there's no opponents, right?
Right.
So I see it. I see it more like that.
I'm going to try this real quick. Hopefully I can do it. Consider yourself being everything. There's nothing else, okay?
Yeah.
But you want to experience everything else, okay? So you expand yourself, right? Here comes the duality. We have good, we have bad, we have light, we have dark, we have, you know, whatever, okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's all the same. It's just this is your part and this is your part, but it's all you because you're God. You want to experience it all, okay? So you got the devil, you got God, you got the angels, you got the demons, you got all this stuff. You got, you know, the guy that, you know, shoot your brother, you know, whatever you got, you know, it's still all experience. It's God experiencing everything.
Yeah.
And it sucks to think about it that way because we can't, you know, we think of, you know, we're good people and that's a bad person, but you know what, that bad person might be fulfilling something that God needs, you know.
Yeah.
And to say that God doesn't need anything, I disagree, because if he didn't, we wouldn't be here. You know, because in the beginning, that's all there was.
Yeah, I think that's a great point, and that's exactly how I look at it. I mean, I think it was Alan Watts that made the example of, you know, what if you could do anything you were God and you just split yourself off and you lived all these lives and you had a lot of fun, but you knew you were God, so it kind of took the danger out of it. You know,
Yeah,
you
exactly.
knew you couldn't really die and everything, so you do that for a couple of billion years, and you say, what if I forgot? What if I forgot who I am and went and experienced it, just blindfolded, you know? I'll go through the forgetting process, and he goes, this is where we find ourselves. And you know, I tend to agree with that because it makes a lot of sense, you know?
That's pretty cool. I like that.
So what do you feel about all this, Sherry? Let me let Sherry get in here.
Absolutely. I've been talking way too much.
Y'all,
Oh, no.
I agree with what you're saying and everything. And I was just going to tell Kelly that I love how in Daniel 7:25 that it says, you know, until a time and times and the dividing of time. I still.
Well, you're right here, baby. That's it.
Yeah.
We're in the dividing of times.
Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right. So, okay. So
do we want to tell all the people how crazy I am about thinking that rock and roll music is all prophetic?
No, we were actually talking about bringing that up because I think it's Atsuko. Forgive me if I messed this up, Atsuko. I think she's in the heavy metal, or was it Megan? Somebody that didn't seem like they'd be in the heavy metal was in the heavy metal. I think it was Atsuko though. But yeah, you had shared some. I think it was Heaven and Hell. Was
Heaven and Hell was the first one that got me to thinking about it. But I'll tell you what. And then it was Worlds Collide. You know, Powerman 5000, Worlds Collide. It's like, oh my God, that's Mandela right there. You know, It's crazy. You know, when you think about it. And then, I mean, and then we could go into some that most people wouldn't even know. I mean, KFMDM has a song. It's called Amnesia. And if you actually listen to the words of that, you're going, holy shit. This is where we're at, you know. It's just insane. And I was listening to one today that I really didn't grasp before. I wish I could remember what it was. But today until I went, oh my God, there's another one.
Yeah. So it's like, okay, so what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that people, when they were writing the song, they went into that right brain, tapped into the infinite creator energy? They just feel like they're writing some song out, but really they're tapping into something deeper with some deeper truths in it and putting it right into the song?
Are you really asking me this question? Because, I mean, my answer is going to be crazy.
Yeah, I want to hear. Yeah.
I think they're modern day prophets. And for some reason, and I don't know why, maybe they don't know why, I'm not sure how it all works out, but I think they know something we don't, and for some reason can't just come out and say it, and we have to figure it out.
So you think they did it on purpose rather than...
And maybe it's kind of like Jesus in the parables, you know, to where only the select few will get it. But that's the way I feel about it. I think there's a message that can't be just outright blurted, and only to certain people, you know, and it doesn't have to be, you know, heavy metal. It's just, that's where I'm at. So that's where I see it.
Well, I see it everywhere.
But that's what I see. I think they're, whether they know it or not, I think they're modern day prophets. And I think that there's a message that can only be received by the people that are actually looking for it.
With eyes to see, ears to hear.
Yep.
It's the muse that's in the music.
Yeah.
The muse in the music, and there's a reason why they call them stars, and I'm just discovering that.
There you go.
And they don't experience just good things either, but they're here for, they're in those positions for a reason. I'm seeing more and more and more of that.
Yeah. Jody's saying, look at David Bowie.
Yeah.
Right. Look at Prince, Michael Jackson.
Oh.
Yeah.
And you know what? We have the other side of the coin too. Okay. I mean, we talk about the law of one. Okay. They gotta tell us what they're doing. They have to, you know, because if they don't, then it's not free will. So on the same side of that, you know, you still have the same music, same kind of music, whatever music you listen to, but it goes the other direction. You got one that goes one direction, one that goes the other direction. You know, you take your pick, you make your choice, and you go that direction.
Well, and then they're like used to like do like predictive programming and stuff too.
Absolutely, like predictive programming.
Blood on the Dance Floor album cover. You know, Michael Jackson's arms are like at 9 and 11, or you know, I think it was something like that. And then like in the skyline of New York City, the towers are down, and you know, stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it was somebody had done a video.
on Rob Zombie. I mean, come on.
Oh, Rob Zombie, you said?
Yeah, think about some of his stuff, you know.
You think he's bad or good or positive or negative?
Are just if you just listen to him as a casual listener, they make no sense. Absolutely zero sense. But if you listen to them, you know, they do. And as much as I love Rob Zombie, I mean, it's good music. I love it. But that's not the direction I want to go.
You know what, Kelly? Rob Zombie has a haunted house here in New Orleans.
Oh, I'm sure. Rob Zombie's probably got lots of haunted houses. Where are you at?
In New Orleans.
Did you say Warland?
New Orleans.
Oh, New Orleans. I thought you said Warland, because I used to live close to Warland, Wyoming. I thought,
I actually did too.
Really?
I'm from. Do you know where Rollins is?
Yeah, I know where Rollins is. I lived in Sheridan and where Catherine, Green
That's
River.
Where I graduated.
You know, yeah. I was in that whole area, so yeah, we're like, you know, yeah, neighbors.
Neighbors.
So that.
Yep.
That's wild.
Wow, that is weird. Orland's small.
Yeah, it really is. Let me go to the chat and see if I got any questions.
Kelly,
here.
have you heard of Sinclair?
Sinclair, Wyoming?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, that's where I lived. My dad worked at that oil company with the.
Really, just a little bitty place right there outside of I'm sorry, Rollins, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
was,
if you take that road on Sinclair, you go down into Colorado to see my mother. So yeah, I know exactly where you are.
Wow. No one ever knows where that is.
Well, I do.
How about that?
Yeah, I mean, we're like, what, 10 miles, maybe 15, 20 miles outside Rollins, if that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, you are right now?
What's that?
I don't know.
Is that where you're at now? She's asking.
No, I'm in Washington now. I'm really close to Seattle, Washington right now.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
I have a friend that lives there, actually.
Oh, Jen knows about Sheridan, Wyoming. I wanted to chime in on what Jen said. Okay, so really back to my question that I had for you, where you said they were modern day prophets. No, that's okay. I was wondering if you know, if you thought it was accidental or on purpose. So you thought it was on purpose, but I also see times when in movies, and that's what Jen was pointing out. So you watch a movie like The Never-Ending Story. There's all sorts of movies that, you know, just like you were saying, they'll have a positive underlying message, or it'll be a negative underlying message, and you know. So really, my question is, how much of that is done on accident? Because
I don't think any of it's done on accident, but I think that the makers of the movie don't know it. I think it's done on accident on their part.
That's what I meant.
It's done on accident.
No, that's what I meant. I meant, do you think the writers actually knew, or do you think they were inspired, divinely inspired, without knowing about it? Because that's what I think happens a lot.
Divinely good or divinely bad? Yes, I believe that.
Yeah.
Well, I think
totally.
there's some of that, but they also like to do stuff like put out, you know, out there what's really going on, you know, what's really going on, but then spin the truth like to throw people off.
Yeah,
That's
that would
what
be
I
the
feel.
negative.
Yep. Make it look like, oh yeah, this is really what's going on, but you know, it makes it so crazy that you know you can't believe it, and everybody laughs about it and thinks, yeah, that's not it, but it really is. Yeah, I understand. I believe it 100%, and I think you're right on top of it.
And there's been a number of movies and shows now that sort of has this Mandela effect type scenario with it, but they'll make it a little too far fetched to believe. So
okay,
I think it's a counter.
Just because you had to say that, you know, I realize I interrupt you a lot, and I'm sorry, Shane, but you know what? Do you ever watch The Big Bang Theory?
I did. Yeah. I have watched it before.
You should watch that bitch over and over and over, because I'll tell you what, there are so many Mandela effect, you know, references and so many this references and so. I mean, that series right there will tell you exactly what's going on. All you can do is watch it. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, in all the TV shows, they tend to want to use like the lines from the movies that are affected, and you know, it's just it's weird, you know, how they bring them to the forefront. I've always said that, just like when the Bee Gees, one of their songs is Mandela affected, and I'm at work, and then all of a sudden they were performing like a guest on the Grammys or something like that. They were doing that song, you know, and just like they had a old show. It was like they called it The Summer of Me. When it was a capital M and a capital E, and it would show like some old.
Oh wow!
It was on like on one of those. Oh, help me out, chat room. What's that say? I'll phone a friend. No, it's like Lifetime or something like that. You know, like it's in the late at night TV, and it had like I Love Lucy and all those old shows like that. But they would show ones that were Mandela affected, and I swear to God, no one's gonna believe me. But I'm sitting there passing out medicine, and Lucy and Ethel were like playing the Ouija board, and I'm like, no way, that this wouldn't have been on there way back then. They would have never had that on there.
Kind of like the CERN thing.
Huh?
Kind of like the CERN thing where the guy was wearing the two signs that said Bond 1 and Mandela.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. You know? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Wait. Shane, you know what? I can't explain it good like you, but that thing that I sent you to look at, that map thing, I guess you don't want to say anything about that, huh? Or is it too deep to go into?
Map.
The Q map where it had the pyramid with the 5G on one side and the 5D on the other.
Oh, yeah, I don't really have a comment for that. Okay. You're talking about the Q map, or they're calling it. Have you seen that before?
I have not, but I would love to see it. So yeah, if you want to send it to me, I would be. Yeah,
well, I would love to. I think what it's trying to do is say that like all of the 5G things that were happening or whatever, or it's like to make people not maybe think that their ascension symptoms or anything like that is like negative and it's caused from this bad thing or whatever, when it's actually more kind of, I don't know. So
yeah, what it has, let me see if I can pull it up real quick while you're talking, because
I'm not good at like expressing myself with stuff, but it like has like it has like the Schumann resonance on one side and the
which is a big deal.
Right. And then on the other side, it has just stuff like about like the kill grid and the 5G and one is talking about like you know, the Antichrist, and the other one's talking about like ascension, basically.
Okay, let me pull this up here and show you guys. So you can find this by just typing in QMap, but
look at this, Kelly.
When you zoom in on this here, it's got pretty much every type of conspiracy, anything you can think of. You start at this top left corner up here, right? And it goes.
Yeah, I would have started at the Pentagon personally, but anyway.
Can you go? Are you going to go down to that area?
Yeah, I'm just kind of putting
the Mandela effect's on there.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of why. That's why I kind of gravitated towards it. You know.
So this is the part she's talking about. Mayan calendar, 2012. Where's the? Oh, here it is. 5G, 5D. Now you got from the 5D side, solar shift, age of Aquarius, the red pill, 12-strand DNA, Schumann resonance. This is all on the 5D side. On the 5G side, Apocalypse, Revelations, Antichrist, Pole Shift, Nibiru, and then we got Mandela effect right above that. But yeah, if you look at this, this is really interesting. I mean, you can literally spend hours just.
It's all
seeing...
connected. It shows how it links to each
when,
thing. Is what it
when
does.
we get a minute, I really want to throw something at you guys that just, it was weird, but it was one day I was actually in the shower that just, it just kind of went, and it's like, we might be doing it wrong. So, because, okay, here's the thing. When we talk, you know, we're talking on YouTube, okay? But we all know that all the networks are basically owned by the same people, you know, and we get to hear what they want us to hear, okay? This isn't any different. They own this too, you know? They really do.
Mm-hmm.
And we get to hear, I mean, they can manipulate what we decide we think is real and this and that and the other. But we need to, in my opinion, we need to go one-on-one. You know, we really do somehow. And I'm not sure how to do it yet. YouTube's the best we got right now, and that's great. But something I was thinking about the other night is, you know, everybody's talking about going into, you know, from 3D into the 5D, you know, and I got to thinking about that, and I thought, is this really the right way to go? I mean, think about it. Where did it start? Okay, and like I said at the beginning, okay, when you have the singularity, what's the singularity? The singularity is God. Okay,
Right.
And then you have dimension 2. That's dimension 1. Okay, when you have dimension 2, we have, you know, well, the straight line basically is two dimensions. You know, a flat space with a single point and a direction. That's it. Okay, and then with 3, I really don't think there was ever a 3D. I really don't. I think that was a lie. I think we have height, width, depth, and time. That's 4. Where does 3 come in? 3 was never there.
With you.
Yeah, 3 was never there. We're going the wrong way. We don't need to be going into 5D. We need to get back to 1. We need to get back to God conscious. We need to get back to the singularity.
That's a beautiful perspective, actually. I think that's kind of cool. I love to hear people's thoughts on stuff like that. But you know what I think? I think it's all about your mind, the whole thing. You know,
singularity. Yeah.
You know, it's just like wherever your mind goes, the energy flows, and that's what's created.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's just like a great big war of the mind. The whole spiritual war, whatever they're talking about, is all like a battle for the mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
I agree.
I like the way that the law of one talks about it, where they say, like, you know, density 1, instead of dimensions, they use density. Density 1 would be like, you know, the earth and the elements. And then density 2 would be like the plants and the animals. Density 3 would be like the higher level human beings. And then density 4, 5, and beyond are, you know, moving up in increments into higher states of awareness. So they're not really looking at it in the dimensional sense like we look at it. Like, you know, I think that's sort of, and that's probably disinfo put out there to confuse things up, you know, like everything else.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. That was just a thought I had, you know. I mean, it was just kind of a random thought that I didn't expect, but you know,
getting back to first would be,
you know, dimension 1 is a God conscience. That is all. That's everything. So,
everything all in a single.
Away from that to push in 3 and 4 and 5. Piss on that. I'm going back.
Right. To the singularity, to the single point that one dimension is. Yeah, totally. Well, shoot, man. I guess, gosh, the hour's up already.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it was a pleasure having you, man. And I mean,
it was great.
I appreciate all you've done for me all this time. You and your daughter Crystal that sent me tons of residue with stuff I presented. So I've presented a lot of stuff from both you and your daughter over this time I've had this channel, and I want to thank you because that's really what this is all about. You know, I can't do all of the research, so it really helps when, you know, you and your daughter Crystal can just send me stuff, and other people send me stuff all the time, and I'm really appreciative for that.
Well, you know what, it goes both ways, because I'm appreciative of you that I can send it to you and you will put it out there, because I don't have the time nor the desire to do what you do. So I mean, for me to be able to say, hey Shane, here's this stuff, get it out there so people can see it, I mean, that's a big deal for me. So I mean, we're on the same page, buddy.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we're all playing for the same team here, man.
Yep.
That's cool. All right, Sherry, are you in the chat?
Oh, no, I was reading it though. I was trying to look, see. I am now.
Okay, I just wanted to just close it out, and I
Yeah.
appreciate you being here, Sherry and Kelly, and we'll have to do it again sometime.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
thanks. I'm
Good
sorry I
night,
dominated
everybody.
the whole thing, but you know.
No, it was all about you and these incredible pictures, man. I need to do a shorter clip of that, just put it out like that, because it's crazy, you know. 'Cause you can see something's there.
I'm gonna see if I can just go ahead and, you know, I mean, this was fun. I have a good time, so I'm gonna see if I can put something together that's a little bit more prepared, and you know, your viewers can see what's going on. And like I said, maybe we can do it to where it's a live thing where I can, you know, do the whole camera and they can watch them come and go, because that's kind of cool too. So,
Yeah, awesome.
Oh yeah, we could do a little ghost hunt at the garage.
absolutely. Like I said, it's a really weird place to do a ghost hunt, but they just seem to be there for some reason. I don't know why. So,
maybe we need to investigate it while we're up in Washington or something.
well, if you ever get up to Washington, buddy, yeah, we will.
Yeah, we'll be there in August.
Huh?
I said we'll be there in August. We're going
You
to the
will?
East City. Yeah, the East City Ranch.
Oh, really? You're going there?
Yeah, August.
Oh
That's
my
what
God!
that's what I was saying.
Yeah, we'll be there for sure.
Yeah, be there. That'll be
Because
cool,
I mean,
man.
I've been thinking. I've been telling my wife, we gotta go to East City Ranch. We gotta go to East City Ranch. And she's going, okay. And we never have. But if you're gonna, yeah, all right, it's on.
August.
Like
Yeah,
dog,
and then
buddy.
a bunch of us are going there, so it'll be cool, man. We can all
Yeah.
meet each other, get to know each other, and
Yeah.
see each other in person. That'd be cool.
Watch some really cool stuff. Yeah. Go see some
Yeah.
bigwigs.
Yeah. Well, lots of love to you guys and everyone in the chat as well, and we'll see you on the next one. Have a good
All
one.
right. Have a good one. Thanks, Shane.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Nice meeting you.
If you'd like to support the work I do, go to paypal.me/UOTF. Thanks.